Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm doing a makeup routine. I'm so excited. I have not done a makeup look, I don't even know, in so long. It's been so long since I've sat down and done a makeup look, and I decided to start a little monthly series called my Makeup Monthly, and I'm going to share with you guys my makeup routine at that point. A little backstory though to share. I used to do makeup on here a lot. If you're new, if you're an oldie, you know I've been doing I started doing makeup on YouTube here. And I fell out of it because I felt so overwhelmed by how much product I had and the amount of product that was launching, and there was just so much makeup. I couldn't handle it. I could not handle it, and I just didn't like the fact that I had 10 foundations and 20 bronzers. Actually, it was all in here, sitting in there and just not being used. I wanted to buy makeup to use it and to wear it, and I don't know, I just felt really overwhelmed, so I just kind of fell out of the makeup thing. And I still love doing makeup. I love wearing makeup, but I just kind of fell out of that a little bit, and I kind of started this system where I use what I have. So I've been using what I have for about 2 years now, and I have dwindled. I had this thing, it's 9 drawers. I had it full of makeup from top to bottom. It was full of makeup. It was too much. I actually have it down to 1, 2-ish drawers. The second drawer doesn't have really much. And I have been using this little system right here. I'm gonna link this for you guys. It's from Amazon. It's a little clear drawer system. I keep all of my everyday makeup right here, and I simply just use it straight from here until I use it up. Then once I use a product up, I'll go in and find another, if I use up a primer, I'll go grab a different primer and throw it in here. And you guys, I've used up pretty much all my makeup, which is pretty good. In 2 years, I've used up all of the makeup that I had in there. I had to throw some away because it was gross. And I have a lot of blush still. I'm probably gonna have to throw some of this away because there's so much blush. That is what I've been doing for the last couple years, but I thought it would still be fun to kind of share with you guys what I do on the daily. And this summer I haven't, and ever since quarantine really, I haven't worn much makeup, to be honest with you. But when I do wear makeup, this is what it looks like. And I'm sorry, it might not change from month to month really, or maybe just ever so slightly as I use products up, but I thought it would just be fun to get on here, chit chat, and share a makeup routine. So all of the links to the products that I'm using and the brushes and everything will be linked down below in case you want to check it out yourself. I've been using this makeup actually pretty much all summer here. This has been my makeup routine. I did kind of amp it up in my eyes for filming because I'm actually filming another video after this, but I explain all of that along the way. So let's go ahead and get started. Right, so here we go. I am fresh faced. I have all my skincare on, obviously. I've had it on for actually a couple hours, so it's really sank in. But we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna do this makeup tutorial. I have not done one, like I said, in so long. It's been so long. I kind of forgot how to do these. And you guys know that I've been using up my stuff. I think I explained this at the beginning. But I use those makeup drawers. I keep everything in there. I use it until I use it up. Even if I'm this is an okay product, I never use something that I don't like, but I do use things that I'm this is just okay. It looks fine on my skin, but it's not my favorite. So starting off with that being said, I have my primer here. This is the Smashbox Primerizer. It's a primer and moisturizer in one, and I find that I don't need that moisturizer, so I'm I actually just have a little bit left, and I've been trying to use it up, but I haven't been wearing much makeup this summer, so I just use about 2 pumps, and the packaging is really nice. I just kind of press it into my skin. But again, I love my moisturizer, and I feel like my moisturizer does the job of moisturizing. moisturizing, so I just don't feel like I need anything more. Right, moving into my foundation, this is what I have been using pretty much every time I use foundation lately. I had been going between this one and the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue, which is my absolute favorite, but I'm just kind of like using this one up, but I really love it. It is one of my favorites. It's the Charlotte Tilbury, the Light Wonder. It's kind of like a medium coverage, I would say, but I love the fact that it makes you look really kind of dewy and just like brings light to your face. It says it's a youth boosting perfect skin foundation, and I completely agree. So it comes out in this little squeeze tube, and I actually just squeeze it and like dot it all over my face. I am in shade 4, which is fair, and that's actually like kind of my summer color here. So I'm gonna kind of try to use the viewfinder, but I'm also gonna use my mirror here. All right, so I just dot it all over my face, and I go in with a damp sponge. Now this is key, and I feel like people don't know this still, but a damp sponge is the way to go, not a wet sponge. Can't be soaking wet. Obviously not dry. Dry will just smear it all over your face. Wet will absorb the product too much, but damp just kind of presses it in and makes it really nice. And I just dip. So that's what I do to blend in foundation always. I know some people love a brush, and I've used a brush for years, but this is just my favorite way, so I do it every single day. And this actual sponge is not a beauty blender. I do have a dirty beauty blender here. I still love the beauty blender, the original one, but this one's from Amazon. Came in like a 5-pack, and it was really affordable, and I really like it. It's not as good as the beauty blender still, but it's pretty close. It's probably the closest one I've used. Another little trick that I do, any kind of excess product that's on my sponge that I have, if I maybe put too many dots on my face, I always kind of smear it along the edges of my chin there, so it kind of blends downward. And I also kind of do it on the ears too, just so everything's blended down. For concealer, lately I have been doing the Tarte Shape Tape, and I have 2 shades here. I'm really trying to use this shade up, but this is my favorite shade. It is the shade Fair Neutral. It is just too light for me. It's just very light. Light, however, this is the light one, just light. Nothing else. This one is like my perfect shade. It's like a shade lighter than my skin tone, so it still brightens my under eyes. It's super full coverage, and the shade just really goes with my skin tone very well. This one is just a little too bright, but I'm trying to use it up, so I think I'm gonna go in with the bright one today. And I don't use a lot. I'm not one of these people that like scrapes it all over their face. I just use about that much. And I always wipe before I put it on. I always wipe excess off because it comes out really goopy. Always wipe excess off and then slightly put it on, and that is how I put it on. Now you can see it's very bright. You can kind of see how much I have on there. And then I bring it up into the corners and dab. Then I also, again, go in with any excess concealer on that side, and I actually wipe it on my lids so that it kind of neutralizes my eyelids as well. Also, after I do go over like my eyelids, I will go in the corners of my nose because it always gets red there. Alright, after concealer is on, I always like to set it. I had been using the Charlotte Tilbury powder. It was like a face powder actually, and I really did like that. But I used that up, and I recently went back to this. It's the Laura Mercier the Secret Brightening Under Eye Powder, and I'm like back on this. Like, this is my absolute favorite. So I actually take my damp beauty sponge and I just tap the tiniest bit. You don't need a lot. That's like a little too much, actually. So you don't need a lot, and I just tap it underneath my eyes and it instantly brightens. It sets it. You don't need a lot though. Don't pack it, because that'll make you look dry and crepey. At least it does for me. Yeah, just a little bit goes a long way. Do you remember when people used to like bake under their eyes and like put like tons of powder? Oh, I never did that. I couldn't do that. I was not that brave. Actually, I am gonna set my skin with a powder. I've been doing this lately just because it's summer, and I also really love this powder and it doesn't dry me out at all. I can't use a ton of powder because it'll just like suck the life out of my face. Makeup just naturally does that, no matter if it's dewy, moisturizing, whatever. It just kind of like sucks the life out of my face. But I love this powder. It's the Hourglass Ambient Powder. This is actually a little trio, but I use the shade right here. It's called Dim Light, and I just use a fluffy brush. This one's a Real Techniques. It's a blush brush, but I use it for powder. And I just actually sweep it on my face, and it just sets it. It is super glowy. So it kind of keeps my foundation looking glowy. And I don't, like I said, don't want to use, this is actually a really light powder anyways, but you don't want to use too much, otherwise for me, it dries out my skin. All right, and then the last step for like my base before we go in with anything else, I'm gonna use, look at the packaging. This happens every time I buy this. It is the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion in the Anti-Aging. Anything that says anti-aging with my eyes, I am all for. So, I don't know why though, every time I buy it, the cap like falls apart. But it does come with like a little applicator, and I just put a little bit on my eyelids. This just helps my eyeshadow stay, because for some reason it's the only, I just feel like eyeshadow does not stay in place. It'll crease really bad on my eyes because I have really kind of crinkly eyes. Wrinkly eyes. Okay, so that is it with that tray. I'm gonna get my next tray that I use, and that includes like bronzer and blush and highlight. Okay, so my bronzer, blush, and highlight, I actually have two bronzers in here. I had been using my Hourglass one, but then I forgot. Okay, so I have these two bronzers and a Charlotte Tilbury, like a contour, kind of like liquid stick. And that is all I have for like contour, bronzer, in my collection. I have used all my bronzers up and I'm so proud of myself. But I kind of went back to this one because I remember that it was a little dark for me in the wintertime. So I kind of am like, I'd rather use this one up than the Hourglass one right now, because it's just, yeah, I just want to use this one up. It's a little dark. So it is the Too Faced, it's the Chocolate Soleil in Medium Deep, which is, I don't know why I got medium deep. I needed like the other one, the lighter one. And I just use this brush. What is it? It's a Sigma powder blush brush, and I just dust it on like that. Go up here. And then I always go on my chin and then bring it down the sides of my neck. And even on my ear, just to like blend everything together so it doesn't look like I have a streak of makeup on my face. For blush, blush has been my hardest thing to use up. I'm not gonna lie, it is so hard to use up a blush. Like, as I'm like going through this process of just using my makeup, blush is so hard to use up because you don't use a ton. Eyeshadow is too, but I feel like blush is the hardest. So this is a MAC Melba. This is what I've been using pretty much all summer here. And this is a really old brush from Sonia Kashik, and I love it. I will never get rid of it. It's my favorite blush brush. But I just kind of pat it on. And I love this color. I feel like it's really pretty. I might get sick of it before I use it up, but I'm bound and determined to use it up. The other thing, I have had this forever. It is the Laura Mercier. This is, you will never need another highlighter in your life. Like, this lasts a lifetime. It is the Matte Radiance Baked Powder and Highlight. It is my favorite. I love it because it's very subtle. It's not like crazy glittery. It's very pretty, I would say. It's very pearly. It's very pretty. I use the Sigma High Cheekbone Highlighter. I love this highlighting brush. And then I just go on the tops of my cheekbones. And I love it. It's so pretty. It's very like natural looking in real life. Even like, I mean, you can see it on the camera here, but it's actually really natural in real life. All right, so next up, eyeshadow. In my eyeshadow little drawer here, I actually have a little Bobbi Brown shadow. I haven't really used it much. I've pretty much been using my Tartelette palette every single day. And actually when I film, I will use this one as well. So I'm gonna show you guys the colors that I use. Clearly, you can see which colors I use because I've hit pan. I use this one and this one, just like dust them all over my eye every single day. I use that for my brow bone, and then when I film, I kind of like amp it up a little bit because I'm filming. I put this shade from the Tartelette in Bloom palette, this Firecracker shade. It's like a bronzy kind of shimmery shade. It's really pretty. This is like my favorite palette of all time. But I actually think once I use these two up, I think this palette might be done for me, which is kind of sad. I do like the other colors. I just don't need all those dark shades. Like, these are like plenty for me. So I just don't need all of it. So, you know. Okay, I'm gonna use this fluffy brush. It's from Mirabella, and it's the eye blender. This is my favorite eye brush. And I take that top shade. It's called Force of Nature. It's kind of like a pinky neutral brown color. And I just pack it on, go in my crease, and then fluff it downwards. And I just pack it on, go in my crease, and then fluff it down. Then I take that same brush and I actually just dip it in that bottom shade, which is Wanderer. It's kind of like a little bit deeper of a brown, but still pretty like neutral and light. And I actually just take this and I go all over my lid and just fluff it around. I then take this little pencil brush. It's from Sephora. It's super old. It's actually a lip brush. Like, you're supposed to use it for your lips, but I love it for my under eye area. And I don't use eyeliner under my eyes. I don't like the look of it. I think it looks really stark and it's hard to like make look really natural. I actually just use my eyeshadow. So I'm gonna take that Wanderer shade, tap my brush in it, and I just go under the line like that and smudge. Then I use this little brush. Again, I have no idea where this is from. It doesn't have, it's so old. I probably should get new brushes, but I love it for my brow bone. And I use the shade Free Spirit. I just pack it on, and then I just go under the brow bone like that. Just kind of tap it on. Right, and because I'm actually filming another video after I do this, I am gonna go ahead and go in with my little, what I film with, and it's just one extra step. It's nothing crazy. I take this little like fluffy MAC 217 brush, and then I take that bronze shade, and I know this is like a blending brush, but I really love it for like on the lid stuff. And I just kind of like fluff it around. And usually I also kind of go in with a little bit extra under my eye with that shade just to kind of make it a little more dramatic. Okay, and then I just have brows and lashes, and I am done. And I will do lips. I normally don't put lipstick on like every single day. I'm just not that kind of person. I'll throw like lip balm or chapstick on, but because I'm filming, I will do my lips, and also eyeliner. I actually don't really do eyeliner. I actually just put mascara on and do my brows, and I'm done. But for today, like I said, I'm filming, so I am gonna do a little bit something extra to my eyes. And I use the Kat Von D tattoo liner in Trooper Black because it's a very, very fine tip and it's a brush, and I like that because I could just kind of like go really thin and not make it so dramatic, and I try to get it as close to my lash line as possible. So this takes a little bit of like time, and it just takes a little time and practice. All right, so you can see I get pretty close to the line, and then I am gonna kind of wing it out just a little. For brows, I'm using these two right here. These are actually part of the end sale, so, and they're still available. I can't believe it. But this is the Anastasia Brow Wiz and the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel. This is what I use every single day. I love it. The first thing that I do is I brush my brows up. I love this little spoolie. Just brush your brows up. Then I take the other side and I get it very, very small, kind of, you can't really see. I just roll it up very, very tiny. And what I do is I actually start underneath the brow right here, and I just start kind of flicking the pencil to fill in just little bits at a time. It may not look like you're doing much, but once you brush it out again, you will see a difference. You will see a huge difference. And like I said, I just make a little tiny brush. And then after, I just spoolie them out again, just to kind of, it also kind of, I feel like it kind of like blends it out a little. So it makes it look really natural, because I do not like, I can't do the whole like sculpted brow thing. I look mean and I don't want to look mean. I want to look happy. And then the only other thing I do just to keep them in place is brush it, and I always brush upwards. I have a pretty thicker brows, so I don't micro needle, I don't do any of that. It's all natural, just like my wrinkles. And then I do my lashes. I do the Dior Lash Primer. I brush that on, I let that sit for a second, and then I go in with the Lancome Monsieur Big. I've talked about this so many times and I've used it for so many years, but I thought I would mention it. I'll do my mascara. It's not that fun to watch, so I might just pause it. Okay, so here are my lashes with the lash primer on. I just goop it on, let it sit for like 5 seconds. I don't let it sit that long, and then I go in with my mascara. All right, got my lashes on, and then the last step is a lipstick, but like I said, on the everyday I don't wear lipstick. And I had so much, I had like a drawer full of lipstick, and I like rarely wear lipstick. Like I would wear it, but like not that often, like to have a whole drawer full. It was so bad. But I am in love with this lip pencil. It's my absolute favorite. It's by MAC, and it is the lip pencil in Whirl. It's like my shade. It's like, I have really like purpley lips, and this has like a mauvey purple undertone. It's literally a great match. So I just kind of line my lips just very lightly. I don't overdraw. I just line it where the line goes, and that's it. All right, then for lipstick on top, there are quite a few lipsticks that I still do like, But this one, if I had to get rid of all my lipsticks, which I could because I don't wear that much, this is my favorite, and clearly I need a new one. I'm about out of it. It is a MAC Blankety, and a lot of you always ask, what lipstick are you wearing in like videos? It's most likely this. It's just like my favorite nude. It's not too dark, it's not too light, it doesn't like cancel me out. I love it. It's my favorite. All right, so that is my makeup routine for this month. I've been actually wearing this look for a very long time, and next month, like I said, might not be super different, but I'm gonna do my makeup on here monthly, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Give it a thumbs up if you like it, subscribe if you're not, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.